In today's list of words, we have them all ending with the Y, which is making its long E sound. Now, Y at the end of a word is really common for the long E sound. There are thousands of words that end in Y. There are only about 10 to 20 that end in EY. So if you're not sure if it's EY or Y at the end of a word, go for the Y because there are far more. There are 10 common words like honey, money, trolley, etc. The next 10 are not so common. You'd get alley, attorney, volley, hockey, etc. So the other thing we've got within this list is we've got some R-controlled vowels. So at the end of these words we've either got AR or ER. So they all R-controlled vowels, that's a vowel with an R, make a long vowel sound. So just be aware of that. So we've got ARI on some of them and URI on the others. So we've got library, primary, ordinary, customary, complementary, misery, celery, mystery, nursery and battery. Now we've managed to sneak in some other R-controlled vowels. We've got a representation of the OR making the OR sound. So we've got OR. So these two are making the same sound. ER usually is at the end of a word and it tells us someone who, and UR could be in any position in a word, but it's not a very common one. Whereas these two are easy because that's saying a different sound, R, and that's saying a different sound, OR. Now here, when we're using at the end, we've got the Y after it, so we've got misery, celery. So it's not telling us someone who. Okay, so let's have a look what else we have within these words. In misery, we've got the S making its common Z sound. So we know S more commonly says Z than it says. We've got the C making its soft sound because it has an E after it. And because that's a long sound, we only have one consonant after a long vowel sound. Now mystery, we know this word must be from Greek origin because we don't like Y's in the middle of English words. So when we see Y in the middle, it usually tells us that it's a word from the Greek language. We've got the UR in nursery and battery. Now here's a good example of a short vowel followed by two consonants. In this case, the consonants are the same. They can be the same or different, but if we've only got one sound to, we know we're going to use the same letter. So library is a room containing books, films or music for use or borrowing by the public or members of an institution. Primary is of chief importance. It can also mean earliest in time or order, and it can also mean not caused by or based on anything else, it's original. And it can also mean education for children up to approximately 11 years of age. Ordinary means normal, no special features, commonplace. Customary means according to customs or ordinary practices in a society or a set of circumstances. Complementary could mean free, but it can also mean flattering. Misery means suffering. Celery is a plant with edible leaf stalks. It's often used in salads or as a cooked vegetable. A mystery is an enigma. Nursery could be a room in a house for young children, and it could also be a place where plants and trees are grown for sale. And a battery is a container which has a cell inside which provides energy in the form of electricity as a source of power. The first set of words are ending with ARY and the second set are ending with ERY. So the AR and the ER are R-controlled vowels, and we've also got a couple of other R-controlled vowels in here, UR and OR. So the thing to remember too, the Y on the end of these words is making its vowel sound E, and this is a very common way of writing the long vowel E at the end of a word. EY is not so common, so if you're not sure, go for the Y. There are thousands of words that end in simply the Y. Right, down here you have to write the list word under the picture, nice and easy. Fill in the gap with the missing list word here. Write the synonym for these three given words and write the antonym, meaning the opposite for each of these three words. Down the bottom we've got three expressions for you to work out. Finish the expressions and define the third one. So nothing out of the to put someone out of their and loves company. So you have to explain this last one to us. So you may need to discuss those three within your group to get the answers, and then once you know the answer to this third one, you may need to do some research to work out what it means, but I think you could probably work it out by thinking about it. You've got two sentences to write down the bottom, one with library and celery in it and the other with nursery and battery in it. In this set of words, they're all ending with the long E sound, which is represented with Y. So we've got some that are ending with A-R-Y and some that are ending with E-R-Y. So you need to remember which ending is on each word. So write the base word of the list words, so customary, complementary, so we're looking back to take them back to their base word. Plural forms. Now if a word ends in a Y, it's only if it has a consonant before the Y that you change the Y to an I before you add ES to make it a plural noun. So just we've put a little warning up there for you. If you have a vowel before a Y, you don't change the Y to an I. Now make the list word into an adjective, then use the adjective in a sentence. So an adjective describes a noun, so make sure that you use an appropriate noun to go with each of these adjectives. Now do take note that here to form an adjective you've added able, and here to form an adjective you've added OUS. The I has come from changing the Y to an I, because we don't like Y's in the middle of words if we can help it. Now make the list word into an adverb by adding ly. Now we've done this lots and lots of times, so you know if in an NAPLAN test you had to find an adverb, you could look for the word that ends in ly, and most of the time it will be an adverb. Don't forget to change the Y to an I. Use each adverb in a sentence. Now, the only reason you're changing the Y to an I is because there's a consonant before the Y. If there was a vowel before the Y, you don't change the Y to an I. So here you're going to get ordinarily and primarily. Now, when you use the adverb in a sentence, the adverb has to describe a verb. It's adding to the verb. So you're going to have to choose an appropriate verb to go with each of these adverbs. In Latin, liber means book, so complete the sentences below using this knowledge. So you're going to have to think about these answers. You should know them. The third one could be tricky. You might need to discuss that one within your group, but yeah, they're not too bad. It's quite easy, really. Fill in the gap with the missing list word or extension. So think about the meaning of the word that you need to put in here and make sure that it has the correct ending so it appears in its right form within each of those sentences. Now you've done a little bit of work with ERY and ARY, we're going to extend that to cover some more words. So we want you to go through and finish these words off with either ERY or ARY, and then write them in the correct category. Down here, adverbs are words used to describe how a verb is being done. For example, how was she sleeping? Peacefully. Many adverbs are created by adding ly to an adjective. So adjective plus ly equals an adverb. So make the adverbs by adding ly and watch for spelling adjustments. So carefully, restlessly, actively, magically, easily, horribly. Now the spelling adjustments that you need to really be aware of is this last bit over here. So you know quite frequently if you have a Y at the end of a word, if there is a consonant before it, you must change the Y to an I. Now, so down here, adverbs. Highlight the adverbs in the passage below. You've been given some good hints, so just read through that and highlight them. Now, write interesting adverbs for the verbs below. So you know an adverb adds information to a verb. It describes how the verb is being done. So we want you to give some good adverbs for sleep, speak, cook. These are all verbs. So find something that fits the verb, and don't forget most of the time it's going to end in ly. Now, adverbs can also be used to describe adjectives. So, for example, incredibly helpful, radiantly beautiful. So here we want you to write an adverb to describe the adjective. So something sunny, something boring. You can work through those. If you're having difficulty, just discuss them within your group.